We are back with another episode of Camping Gear TV. I'm Josh. This is Tony. What are we talking about this time, Tony?
Today we're going to be talking about tents and tent construction.
What happened to Ben?
I don't know what happened to Ben.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
You know, I haven't been in your basement in a while.
Really?
Yeah. Is there some jackhammering I heard down?
I don't know where he's at.
Well.
All right.
Well.
On with the tent. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do we got here?
This is a Eureka 4-season tent. It's a great tent to have out when it's cold. You can see the snow in the background here at Columbia Bottoms. A 4-season tent. Basically, it's made for spring, summer, you know, all the seasons. Okay, you can edit that out because I can't remember all the 4 seasons. Okay, it's a 4-season tent. Will keep you really warm in the wintertime, and it's airy enough for summertime use is a big thing. For winter use, you can see this fly goes all the way down to the ground.
Right.
It keeps, on lesser tents that have just the 3/4 a rain fly, wind-driven rain can get on the side of your tent and can eventually be forced through by high winds. Ground splatter, if it's raining really hard, mud and stuff will get up on your tent. This stops all that.
Right. Nice.
It really cuts the wind. On the side here, this Eureka tent, it has a vent here on the inside of the tent. Right. There's a little triangular flap.
I think it would help to show people that this is not the actual tent right here. This is the tarp that's covering the tent. You know, so inside of here you can see.
Yeah,
there's the tent.
Here's the rain fly.
Yeah. So you got like a really extreme level of wind protection.
Yeah, you got a big vestibule here. You can put your gear in, stuff you want to have dry or stuff you just want to have handy. It's a 3-pole design. There are 3 1/2-inch diameter aluminum poles. They go through continuous sleeves. That's always a handy option. Continuous sleeves, it's really easy to set up if it's dark out or if you're blind drunk. Here comes my buddy.
Oh,
hey,
there's Snoop.
Hey, Snoop, come on in here. Come on. How about steak?
Nice.
Come on here. There we go. Come on. Okay. A good tent will have a bottom they call a tub bottom. The bottom actually wraps up the sides a little bit. The bottom is really a heavy material, a heavier nylon. So you want that to come up and wrap the lower part of the walls of the tent. Nice. Underneath the tent, you want to have a tarp. This tarp here is sized to fit just within the perimeter of the tent floor. You don't want it sticking out because any rain that gets down there is going to wick in under the tent. So you want to have a tarp that is a little smaller than the footprint of your tent. The tarp on the bottom will prevent sharp sticks and stuff like that from poking holes in it. If I were going to be camping in here tonight, I'd also have a tarp on the inside, and it ideally would be sized slightly larger than the footprint of the tent, so it too would kind of wrap up the walls a little bit. So you'd absolutely have no water getting in and getting your sleeping bag wet and causing you a miserable night.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
This tent is pretty cool. It's got a rear window as well as this main entry here.
Yeah.
They're both fully screened in, so you have a lot of ventilation for summer use. Yeah. Again, the vents, there's one over here, and there's one over here on the exterior, and you can have 1 or 2 of those open to get airflow.
Right.
You don't want condensation to build up in here.
Now you said that the poles, this tent has 3 poles that go through it, and what's the thing about in the middle? There's no break.
Oh, there's no gap for the poles. You can sometimes you can cross feed those poles when you're blind drunk or it's just dark out.
Yeah.
There are techniques to accommodate that. If you have a tent that has that gap in the center and you've got sleeves that you have to mate up properly so the poles don't get crisscrossed, take some buttons of different sizes and make those up. Put a big button on one end of the pole tunnel and put a mating button on the proper sleeve of the other side, and then in the dark you can just feel which button and you go, okay, here it needs to go through this one.
Right.
Put a button of a different size on the other one, and then if there's other pocket sleeves, don't put anything on those. That way you'll be able to match those up in the dark.
Yeah. Now another nice thing about this tent is that it has 1/2-inch poles.
Half-inch diameter aluminum poles. Okay. Stay away from fiberglass. Fiberglass breaks. most of the fiberglass poles you see are 3/8, and they can break pretty easily.
Yeah.
You can get 3/8 aluminum poles. They're more designed for a backpacker tent. They are strong, they are adequate, but for my type of camping, when I go canoeing and weight is no option, I'd rather have these 1/2-inch aluminum poles. They're very strong. It's going to make this really sturdy in the wind.
Nice.
So we've got 2 vestibules like this, one on the front and one on the rear. That's a lot of gear storage. You can stack firewood and tinder and stuff under there for next morning's fire if you need to, something like that. This one has a little window. It's kind of nice to be able to look out and see who's pulling up on you.
And you've had this tent for, what'd you say, 3-4 years?
3 or 4 years, and it hasn't failed me yet.
It was about $250.
Yeah,
something like that. You said.
Yeah, about
seems like a pretty good deal.
It's paid for itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can be in this thing in a torrential downpour, and you can feel smug as you're warm and dry.
Yeah. As always, thanks for watching. It's been another good episode. See you next time.
Thanks.
And then we can run around naked.
Right. Okay.